Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gondorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another Third Age Reforged multiplayer battle replay. And as you guys can probably tell, whoa, sorry about the shaky camera, that was just because I was crossing the river. This is in fact, it might slow down a little bit, a 1v1 river crossing of myself commanding the army of Gondor versus Mr. Man JGW commanding the army of Dale. And so wow, that's actually looks pretty amazing. But anyway, so the point 0.9 patch for Third Age Reforged has come out, and I'm gonna. Okay, so I have kind of mixed emotions so far about the point 0.9 patch because they changed completely every single one of these stats for every single unit in the game. Some cases for better, some cases for worse. One thing that I did really like that they changed is even though the units like Haven Guard and this very cool new looking unit, Sons of the Argonath and Wardens of the White Tower, no longer have armor piercing. Armor piercing is no longer such a must-have, really. I mean, it's still good, but not something that you absolutely must have to win a battle, which is very nice. But something that I did notice that I did not really like is the Gondor infantry is very, very weak now. They added about 40 men in the unit on huge scale, so instead of having 160, they have 200, but they only have 9 attack. They have 31 defense, but only 9 attack and 5 charge, which seems a little off to me because Gondor's strength is supposed to be its sword and shield units. So that seems a little bit odd to me, especially because they did get some nice new shock infantry units because of the fact that all the Dol Amroth units left and became, their own faction of Dol Amroth. But yeah, just their sword and shield units, which seems to be like it should be their strength, are just really not very good at the moment. So I'm hoping that maybe they'll add something like I don't know, like Citadel Swordsman. I don't know that like maybe you can buy like 2 or 3 before the price increased, and they're somewhere in between the current Gondor infantry and the Wardens of the White Tower per se. Because the Wardens of the White Tower used to kind of like fulfill that role, but now you can only get one of them before the price gets increased. But anyway, so if you guys want me to, just put down in the comments, and I will, in fact, do a like overview of Third Age Reforged point 0.9 patch. But I probably won't do it unless you guys want me to. Because it is, in fact, not a patch. It is just a full thing. Like you don't have to have any of the previous ones to download point 0.9. You just have to have vanilla 3.2 and then download point 0.9 parts 1 and 2. But yeah. Also, another thing that they changed is the overall damage output of archers. Now, the highest damage for at least the Gondor archers is only 9 live missile damage, which is kind of interesting. It's cool though. I appreciate that. It's kind of nice because archers in some ways are worse, in some ways are better than they used to be. But anyway, we're now going to go straight into the actual battle. First, I'm going to go over the army comps first of myself. And to start off with, I have one unit of Wardens of Minas Ithil, which is where my generals hang out. You can see them right here. This is a new unit that was added in the point 0.9 patch. They are very elite archers. They kind of resemble like Faramir's bodyguard. I really like the aesthetic of them. I think they look very, very cool. They have 2 hit points, I believe, 9 missile damage, and pretty good melee stats for an archer unit. And then I have one unit of Veterans of Osgiliath. I think they look very, very cool. And you can actually upgrade them twice to make them look, instead of having this kind of like ragged look, they more look along the lines of the Axemen of Lossarnoch, which is one of Gondor's new shock infantry units. But anyway, enough of that. But the Veterans of Osgiliath are very good because they also have 9 missile damage, and they have swords and shields. Well, obviously sword, but they have a shield as well, which makes them quite durable in the melee fight. Then I also have one unit of Gondor Citadel Archers, which are just the Citadel Spearmen with a bow instead of a spear and shield. And then I have one unit of Athelian Rangers to round up my Archer force because the rules were 4 archers, 2 javelins, 4 cavalry, and 1 artillery. And then for the main infantry force, my main infantry force, I have 5 units of Gondor infantry. They are pretty cheap, but like I said before, they're really not that good. 2 units of Lossarnoch nobles, who I might say look very, very cool. I like how they each have pretty much a little bit different of armor and axes, and I'm a huge fan of the fact that there are 3 different colors of the actual wood that they use for the handles. So I have one unit here in the middle, and then one hiding in the trees of Axemen of Lossarnoch. No, where is it? I don't know where my other unit of Axemen of Lossarnoch is, but Yeah, and then I also have one unit of Citadel Bodyguard, 2 units of Guards of Osgiliath, who look very cool in my opinion. They changed the blue to black, and I believe they said it was from Divide and Conquer, so that's kind of cool. And then I also have one unit of the Wardens of the White Tower, who I said before no longer have AP, but that's fine because they're still pretty good. 2 units of Pelargir Marines, who are worth it because in a river crossing like this, there are it's pretty much just one big choke point. And then I have one unit of the very, very elite Sons of Argonath. These guys are 3 HP, have a ton of attack and defense, are very, very worth it, but they're pretty expensive. They're 1,100 florins, but they definitely can get the job done and are worth their price. And then I have one Trebuchet, which you can see is firing already. They can fire even further than .86, but they are still very, very inaccurate. And, ooh, I feel bad for these Bardian Marksmen. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good hit. But anyway, so we will now go on to the army composition of my enemy, who's commanding the army of Dale. And Dale was one of the factions that got a ton new units in this in point .9. There were 4 new factions and like a ton new units, so it's pretty cool. He has 2 units of Bardian Marksmen, excuse me, 3 units of Barding Herd, 1 unit of Dalian Paladins, which is a new unit. They are armor piercing, very heavily armored, and can do their job as shock infantry. He has 2 units of Rivermen, 2 units of Dismounted Earls, 1 unit of Royal Guard, which is where his general is, looking very spiffy in his nice it looks like dismounted Dunedain armor, but with a different color. I actually kind of like that. And 1 unit of the Dale Dragon Slayers, which is another new unit. These guys look, I'm not sure how I feel about their looks just yet, because well, obviously they're very elite. There's only 47 of them, and they do not have very much ammo. But in my opinion, their bows look a little, little bit like something from a cartoon. And once you see their swords, you can see them right now. But once they pull them out, it looks a little weird. Looks kind of a little bit like anime. But overall, they look pretty nice. And then he also has 2 units of Dalian Cavalry, which is another new unit. There's actually quite a few units in this Dale rather than Lake Town armor. They also have Dalian Spearmen and Dalian Marksmen. And then, well, for as a faction. And then he also has 4 units of Lake Town Infantry, which is another new unit. Not too bad line infantry. They're pretty cheap, and you can get a lot of them before the price is increased. And then he also has 1 catapult, which, as you can see, is already being targeted by my archers because in a river crossing, artillery and archers are definitely the biggest threats to anyone's army. Anyway, so we will now start this without further ado. I'm sure you guys saw from the thumbnail that this area right here just becomes an absolute bloodbath. Oh, my bad. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, so it looks like we got... Ooh, yeah, nice hit right there. And those Bardian marksmen. So right now it's basically just the skirmish phase. We're both firing archers and artillery at each other. So my target right now is definitely his own archers and this catapult. And as you can see, we've already done a huge amount of damage with all 4 units of archers on this catapult. Because his catapult will be able to effectively snipe my trebuchets if I do not down it quickly. Yes, look at that. I believe this crew was at like 40 or 60 or something. Now they're all the way down to 18. Oh, and another good hit by my trebuchet. But yeah, the beginning of this battle is pretty. Ooh, another good hit. Is pretty crazy. So I might miss a couple things, but overall I'll probably get most of it. So he did actually get a very nice hit on my Pelargir Marines. Well, not very nice. It was very nice for me, I should say, because it only got this one man. That, however, this is a very good target for him to fire at, though, because it is a very expensive, very good unit. So I will retreat both my Sons of Argonath and Losternock Nobles back to the far end of the map. And that was a good hit on my gunner infantry, though. So I'm basically just going to put every single unit of mine over here in loose formation, and I will continue to fire at his catapult with my archers. And so to kind of shield his catapult crew, he is bringing up 1 unit of Lake Town infantry just to kind of soak up archer fire, which is not a bad idea. I mean, he will lose swordsmen, but they are a pretty cheap unit. But yeah, it's just a murderous skirmish phase going on right now. Right now, my Athelian Rangers are just taking absolute beating, which is fine because they are a fairly cheap archer unit, and they will be able to soak up most of the archer fire, which probably would have been better used on my pikes per se, or my Losternock Nobles. But over here, he is about to get, I believe he gets 2 out of my 3 trebuchets, so I was very, very worried by that. I think, yeah, here, we'll keep going. So, as you can see, my trebuchet is just absolutely wreaking havoc upon his archers, and few of Barding her too. Oh, and a nice little hit on the Dalian Paladins too, which is very good because they are armor piercing, which means they'll be able to do a great deal of damage to my more mid and low tier units. But over here, he only has 15 troops left in his catapult crew. And I believe this might be the volley that he does in fact get one of my trebuchets. We'll go see. Oh no. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, he got right in the middle of my catapult crew, but not any, or trebuchet crew, but not any into my actual catapult. Keep saying catapult. My bad. Yeah, I actually am a huge fan of river crossings. I think they're very fun to play, and also you don't see very many people playing that often, so it's just kind of fun in my opinion to play them. Okay, here's a nice shot. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Absolutely just destroyed that one trebuchet right there. So I do notice this, and I try to pull back my trebuchet, but he does get another one of them before I am able to completely kill off his crew with my archers. So we'll wait for that one more volley. Now here it is. Here it is. Look, it's turning away. Ooh, just managed to snipe it. Look at that. That was a great shot by that Dalian. Maybe he's a Lake Town man. I don't know. But yeah. Look, he only has a 9 catapult crewmen left, and he's actually brought 2 units now of his Lake Town infantry. And he has noticed that my archers are destroying his catapult crew, so he does begin to target them. Well, he has been targeting them. But he's only targeting my Ithilien Rangers, which is totally fine by me because, like I said before, they're cheap and they are better for me. It's better for me that he fires at them than the Wardens of Minas Ithil or Veterans of Osgiliath. So yes, there's only 5 catapult crew left because I've been focusing all 4 units of archers right onto this poor catapult crew. However, this was probably a mistake. I probably should have only focused maybe 1 or 2 units on the catapult crew, just because in these types of river crossings, it is very, very unwise to waste all of your ammo right away, because then when the enemy starts moving across, then he will effectively be able to just kind of sit back here and fire into your infantry line. But so I am bringing up 1 unit of Pelargir Marines to try to maybe throw some javelins either at the Dalian Paladins or the Barding Herd. But he does notice this, and he begins to fire at me with his, you can probably see him, these black arrows from the Dale Dragon Slayers. And I'm going to say it right now, my poor Pelargir Marines get absolutely murdered by the Royal Guard, Barding Herd, and Dale Dragon Slayers. That is something that I really like what they did, though. The arrows from the Dale Dragon Slayers, I'm sorry, I can't talk, are black, which I thought was a very cool thing that they added. And over here, his catapult crew is completely destroyed, so I'm just beginning to fire a few shots at these pretty depleted units of Lake 10 infantry, but for the most part, I'm just going to try to save my ammo. And look at this. I tried putting my Pelargir Marines into loose formation, but it's just not helping because he has like 3 or 4 units of archers all firing at this poor 1 unit. And you can just see tons of them dropping just every second. A nice hit on the Barding Herd, though, by my trebuchet. So yes, the beginning phase of this battle is pretty dang slow, but that's pretty usual with river crossings. It's not really unheard of. So yeah, I was trying to chuck a couple javelins, but I just had so few Pelargir Marines left, it really didn't happen. Oh, he has 1 catapult crewman left. My bad. Ooh, another good hit by my trebuchet. I'm just gonna keep saying that over and over again, apparently. So yeah, look, it's just this whole way, the entire way they were running across the Pelargir Marines were just getting shot down. So it's very unfortunate, but it's fine because they're only 600 florins, so it was fine because. Especially, I was glad that his Dale Dragon Slayers were firing at my Pelargir Marines because the Dale Dragon Slayers do not have very much ammo at all. Which is good because they have a ton of missile damage. So he also has retreated both units of his Barding Marksmen into the second line of his Barding Herd. So my trebuchet is free to fire at as long as it wants. And as you can see, it's way back here, and it's still managing to fire all the way across the river right into his lines. And so where it was, I was actually still able to fire at his cavalry, but just because it was so inaccurate and his cavalry was pretty well protected by this hill, I was unable to get any good hits on his cavalry. I did manage to get a very nice hit right there on his dismounted earls, dropping from 113 to 70. So that was very, very fortunate for me because the dismounted earls are definitely no cheap unit and not a definitely not it was definitely not good for him that he lost that many just to artillery. But I very much liked his selection of the Rivermen because they're a very cheap javelin unit, and javelins are always nice to bring in river crossings. Because you can easily soften up those enemy fortified positions on the riverbank. Also, if you guys did not know, this is the Fords of Isen map, so obviously it's not lore friendly. Well, it never would have been because Dale is fighting against Gondor, which, yeah, never happened in the book or movies. But he has noticed that his more elite units are taking a beating from my trebuchet, so he is going to pull back both units of dismounted earls as well as his Dalian paladins. After another brutal hit on his barding herd. You can just see the burnt corpses right here. So I believe he was trying to tempt me into firing my archers at his unit of Leighton infantry right here. And I did do that for a little while, but then I realized it just wasn't worth it, so I just decided to save their ammo. Because what I really wanted to get at was his Bardian marksman. I believe that's what I was saying about the trebuchet being inaccurate, because I was aiming at his Bardian marksman when it hit those dismounted earls. And so yeah, even though his troops are way back here, I still was able to fire at them with my trebuchet. But I decided it wasn't worth it because it was just so inaccurate. So I just began to fire more at his Barding herd and Bardian marksman. Which his other unit of Bardian marksmen, I believe he has retreated back into the woods, so they're not submitted to any more artillery or archer fire than is absolutely necessary. But yeah, so if you guys, yeah, I'm sorry about not uploading another Reforged video for quite some time, but that's just because I haven't been able to actually find many players, to be honest with you. Just at the times I'm able to play. Ooh, just missing over the heads of those dealing cavalry. Who, I might add, look very, very cool. I'm a big fan of the crimson armor they have, and the shields. They look straight up from the movie, which is, I'm sure, what they were going for. So my trebuchet, I believe, was pretty close to running out of ammo at this time, so I was basically just trying to... I was trying to coax him into just committing all of his forces because, as you can see, I have my pikes right here, and they would have just been stopped by the pikes and then had javelins and arrows fired at them. But he was just not budging. He was not going to move forward his main infantry line. However, he is deciding to bring forward this very depleted unit of Lake 10 infantry, as well as this semi-depleted unit of Lake 10 infantry in just a few minutes. Yes, they're going to brave the journey across this bloodied river. So. I make some very, very foolish mistakes with these guards of Osgiliath, not only here, but in a different point in the battle too, and it is very, very costly, the mistakes that I made. So you'll see in a second here what happens. So I'm trying to run them quickly up here, but then I notice that he's shooting at my guards of Osgiliath with arrows. He'll be firing at them a bit. So I try to retreat them, which was very dumb of me just because of the fact that the Leighton infantry was just inches away from my pikes when I tried moving them back. So it just led to a lot of unnecessary deaths because my guards of Osgiliath were getting sliced in the back by the Leighton infantry. Yeah, so I'm trying to run away because they only fired like what, one volley, and then I tried to run them away. But yeah, it was just unfortunate. And I have brought back my Sons of Argonath and the other unit of Lost or Knock Nobles that I retreated back because its catapult is no longer a factor, so I need not worry that my more elite troops will be getting fired at by them. So I'm trying to use this unit of the Sons of Argonath and this unit of Gondor infantry to kind of help out my pikes, who, as you can see, are just getting absolutely slaughtered right in the back by the Lake 10 infantry. And by the combined forces of these Sons of Argonath and this unit of Gondor infantry, this unit of Lake Town infantry will get destroyed very, very easily. As you can see, they're already shaken. My Sons of Argonath did very, very well in this battle, especially later in the battle when they were fighting against the more elite units such as the Dalian Paladins and the Dismounted Earls. So he is picking a very nice target right here, is firing on my Gondor Infantry and Sons of Argonath with his Bardian Marksman, I believe, because he has very, very little risk of friendly fire right here, just because of the fact that his unit of Light 10 Infantry is all the way down to 12 right now. But as I see the presence of his other unit of Light 10 Infantry, I do fire at him with a couple units of my archers, and I do bring up my Pelargir Marines to chuck a few volleys of javelins right into their sides. But I believe, yeah, I only have 27 Athelian Rangers right now, but I believe I ended the battle with 4 of them left, and they actually got 1 gold chevron. Because I don't think he noticed them when there were only 4 of them, so they were just allowed to fire at his Rivermen, and actually racked up quite a few kills. So his first unit of Lake Town Infantry is routing. There's only 4 men left, and they will get quickly mopped up in melee by my archers. And as you saw, there's just been deadly volleys of javelins at the Lake Town Infantry. Yeah, so in this .9 patch, well, I don't know why I say patch, but .9 update, I should say. The Pelargir Marines, well, not just Pelargir Marines, javelins as a whole got far greater range, so they're very, very effective now. Oh, as you saw, an unfortunate friendly fire on my Sons of Argonath by the Pelargir Marines. But it was worth it because it did rout this somewhat healthy unit of Light 10 Infantry. So I am retreating my Sons of Argonath because I do not want them or my pikes to get shot by arrows at all, because he did bring up this unit of Bardian Marksmen, so I'm targeting them with my arrows, with my own archers. Yes, okay, so he is again, I believe he's firing at... No, he's not. I thought he was firing at my... No, he is, yeah, he's firing at my Athelian Rangers, which is totally fine by me, because not only are there only 21 of them left, but they are in loose formation, so they'll take very minimal casualties. But my Gondor Citadel archers are now out of ammo, so I will... basically, I'm just going to throw them away at the enemy ranks right here. Kind of leave them to die, to be honest with you. And I do believe that my trebuchet is out of ammo at this point. But it definitely did its work, as you can see, many burned Dale and Lake Town forces. Especially right here in the very expensive Dismounted Earls. Who also got a new cosmetic, well, not really new, but they used to have only, well, no, they used to have red and blue, like, uniforms, but now they just have the solid red, which I kind of like. So he obviously he didn't know that I was out of trebuchet ammo, so he's trying to bring them back around here so they can't get fired at by my trebuchet. So as you can see, my Gondor Citadel archers are beginning their long march/run across the river. So yeah, unfortunately the beginning part of this battle is pretty dang slow, but it does pick up probably in just the next couple minutes here. If you guys don't want to watch that the continued kind of skirmish phase, then just go ahead and skip ahead in the battle, or in the video. So to counter my Citadel archers getting to his own archers, who are still kind of in front of his Barding herd, he does bring up 2 units of Lake Town infantry. And now I'm sitting here trying to coax him into firing his archers, firing his arrows into my Gondor Citadel archers, but he's just not biting. He's just not biting on that. So I will kind of just throw them against the enemy lines just to get slaughtered. Oh no, my trebuchet still has a couple shots left. I was wrong. Yes, catch up, man. You must go to your doom. So I think we're gonna speed this up a little bit here because nothing is happening, obviously. Trebuchet is not getting very good hits right now, though, because there's only one of them left, so it's not going to be the most accurate. Okay, so now I am advancing my Citadel archers just to attack these Lake Town infantry, and he also brings forward his Barding herd, which will be very effective against my archers, because even though the Citadel archers do have high defense, the Barding Herd are armor piercing, so they will be able to easily wipe out my Citadel archers in melee. But yeah, something that I thought was interesting is even the Gondor Citadel archers have more attack than the Gondor infantry does. Ooh, as you can see, this that Barding Herd just got an awesome kill on the Citadel archer. But it is okay because even though my Citadel archers are getting killed, they didn't have any ammo left, and they're gonna get a couple kills, not many, but they're gonna get a couple kills against the Barding Herd and Lake infantry. So we have killed 29% of the enemy, and he has killed 15%. But yeah, I really do like how I like all the new units. The new units look very cool, but like I said before, Gondor seems a little. Oh yeah, so I was out of ammo, so then I'm just like randomly firing. You know, bits of dead cow just because I feel like it. And I wonder if the dead cow actually played a factor later in the battle because you'll see at the end what happens. But yeah, Gondor's sword and shield units don't really seem to be particularly that well, especially their like. I guess technically Gondor infantry is considered low tier now. Just the 9 attack really does not do it for me. Just seems a little weak, seeing that sword and shield units should be their best unit. Yeah, maybe if they had like a Citadel swordsman unit or something, like I said before, like maybe you could get like 2 or 3 of them before the price gets increased. I think that would probably work kind of well. Or even just maybe up the attack of the Gondor infantry and make them a little bit more expensive. Because they're only 500, and you can get these 2 Citadel archers just staring down this Lake Town banner carrier. That's awesome. They're like, so, how are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm fine. Nice flag you got there. It is nice. You're getting flanked. Oh, I don't care. It's okay. I'm just going to look at your flag. But yeah, so he is flanking around with this other unit of Lake Town infantry, and it will... My Gondor Citadel archers will fight for a little while, but they will break pretty soon here. Yeah, they're wavering. There's only 39 of them left. They're just getting cut down. And still wavering. Still wavering. It's only 32 now. Ooh, that man just got tripped up on his feet, and ooh, wow, got a halberd to the face. And yeah, they're breaking now. So that is it for my Gondor Citadel archers. But he has blocked up his troops here, so I will be able to fire off a couple of volleys before he notices this and retreats them back to his own lines. But overall, he still has well, so far anyway. The battle's definitely in my favor because because I not only did I take out his catapult that very early on, but took out already 2 units of his Lake Town infantry, and his other 2 units are one's at 124, one's at 137, because they are just getting shot down by my archers right now. His Barding Herd are also none too healthy. Basically, his healthiest units are these back 2 units of Barding Herd, his cavalry, his archers back here, Rivermen, and then his more elite units, which I can't seem to find. But yeah, so far the battle is definitely looking in my favor. But yeah, my trebuchet is also out of ammo, so I am going to charge forward my trebuchet crew. Because that way it will bring hopefully his Barding Herd as well as both units of his Lake Town infantry back into the range of my archers. Well, it seems like they're in range right now. Yeah, unfortunately, my ammo for my archers ran out very quickly, more quickly than I thought it would. Um, yeah, I believe the only units to have ammo right now are these Ithilien Rangers. The Wardens of Minas Ithil are out of ammo, and then my Veterans of Osgiliath I'm trying to save in case he makes a mass push across the river with what's left of his forces. So right now I was really wishing I would have saved my some trebuchet ammo, because this is a very juicy target right here. So it probably would have been wiser if I had saved those last couple shots, just maybe for later in the battle. Although if I would have saved those shots, then that means this trebuchet crew wouldn't be here. But maybe I could have just fired at this blob when the Citadel archers were there. So yeah, my trebuchet crew is routing, and he is going to move both of his only 2 units of Lake Town infantry that are left, as well as this unit of 83 Barding Herd across the river. So I am going to. I don't want to move up my pikes or Sons of Argonath too much because that will put them in range of his archers. So I'm just gonna basically leave them in this tree line here. Well, I might push them up a little. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I push them up a little bit. And my other line of Guards of Osgiliath, I will bring right around down here to protect this flank because I do not want him running any units right into my archers because that would be very, very bad. So yes, I have put them into spear wall and guard mode. This unit is, both of my units of Guards of Osgiliath are still very, very healthy, despite this one did take some unnecessary losses, as you saw before. And I'm also bringing up this unit of Pelargir Marines, kind of run this flank because I was hoping to, because I'm going to throw some javelins once he just throws his units at my Guards of Osgiliath, which pikes in this in the .9 update are very, very deadly. You do not want to attack them straight on with infantry. Probably the best way to deal with them is what he's doing right now, skirmishing them down to death, especially with javelins. They're very effective against the pikes. But even with his Barding Herd and Light Infantry, they will not be able to do well at all against my Guards of Osgiliath. So to try to help them, so to try to help them, I can't talk. He brought his other unit of Barding Marksmen that was hiding in the woods, kind of into the mouth of this river. Well, not mouth. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm dumb. So he brought them over here to try to skirmish down my Guards of Osgiliath. So I'm going to use my Veterans of Osgiliath, who are the Andesilian Rangers, to fire at his Bardian Marksmen. So he does notice this and turn his Bardian's Marksman attention to my Veterans of Osgiliath, who, because of their shield, even though it's not out, they do have very high defense, so they will not take very many casualties at all. Ah, and as you saw right there, a deadly, deadly javelin volley by my Pelargir Marines. And his Barding Herd has engaged my front line of Guards of Osgiliath, and my Guards of Osgiliath are doing a very, very admirable job at holding them back. And I will commit my Sons of Argonath into the fray right here because shock infantry combined with pikes is always a very, very deadly combination. Because the pikes are able to hold them back, and then the shock infantry is able to ooh, deadly charge right there, that poor man. But the shock infantry is able to put that attack where it is needed, the high attack values that the pikes do not have. But his other unit of Lake Town infantry, he's just leaving here, and he's doing that to protect his archers, I assume, and he's also bringing forward both of his other units of Barding Herd. So he is pushing forward a very, very large force of his infantry, and he has noticed that, well, obviously, because he killed my trebuchet crew, that I'm out of artillery ammo, so he has brought his more elite units back into the front line. And so yeah, he's basically just going to make a huge push right now. He's bringing forward his 2 units of archers that still have quite a lot of ammo. And the rest of his forces, he's just leaving on this little island in the middle of the river. So both of his units of Lake Town infantry have either been destroyed or routed, and this unit of Barding Herd is very quickly succumbing to the combined might of my Sons of Argonath and Guards of Osgiliath. So I'm trying to quickly run my Pelargir Marines right here because of their increased range, I would have been able to fire some very nice volleys right into his Barding Herd. But he notices this and begins to advance his Barding Herd, which effectively stops me from firing any volleys, which is very, very good for him. And so to kind of complete my noob box, well, more of like a noob semicircle, I do mobilize this unit of Citadel Bodyguard, who, by the way, are very worth it to bring. Most spear units are not worth it at all in the current game. Spears are just very, very weak at the moment. But Citadel Bodyguard are nice because they have high defense and decent attack, and they're effective against armor, which is something Gondor does not have a lot of, the effectiveness against armor. So I will use them to kind of completely finish my noob semicircle. So my Guards of Osgiliath are back in their very menacing spear wall formation and guard mode, and so he's going to just pretty much throw his forces headlong into them. This unit, however, is not in guard mode, so they do not. Luckily, he does not commit any forces here, so if he did, that would have been very bad for my pikes. Because pikes in not in guard mode are very inefficient. He is catching a number of my Pelagrin Marines in melee with his Barding Herd and Leighton Infantry, but most of them were, yeah, well, obviously the majority of them were able to get away, and the Citadel Bodyguard are going to stop his Barding Herd and Leighton Infantry from getting any further, as well as my Guards of Osgiliath. And my veterans of Osgiliath, who are now out of ammo, are going to be charging recklessly into the island where most all of his forces are, because I was really hoping that I could maybe possibly get into his archers, but really they were just out of ammo and I didn't have anything to do with them, so I was just charged them into I just charged them to their deaths. But yeah, he also is mobilizing his cavalry. I don't know if he noticed if it was a river crossing or not. I mean, it was, the map name was there, but I I don't know why he brought cavalry, to be honest with you, because cavalry is pointless in river crossings for the most part. But yeah, right here his Barding Herd is broken and his Leighton Infantry is wavering, fighting against my Citadel Bodyguard and Guards of Osgiliath. But I do notice that right here my Guards of Osgiliath are having a little bit of a struggle, not really that bad, but a little bit of a struggle. So I am moving forward my Sons of Argonath yet again. And right here, his routing forces are being caught and absolutely slain by my Guards of Osgiliath, who I finally put into guard mode. Right here, my veterans of Osgiliath, I was very surprised in how well they did in melee. They held the line for a very long time. But yeah, he moved up his Dale Dragon Slayers and his Royal Guard, and there he's firing, I believe, at my Citadel Bodyguard. Yeah, he's firing at my Bodyguard, which is, I'm glad that he's firing at them because no, he was firing at my Gondor Infantry and Lossernach Nobles, which the Lossernach Nobles have, as you can see, I've already lost about 20 men to those Dale Dragon Slayers. But I'm fine with that because they're not that expensive. They're only 800, and the Dale Dragon Slayers don't have that much ammo, so I'm fine with that. If with them wasting their ammo on a fairly cheap shock infantry unit. Yeah, as you can see, these veterans of Osgiliath are holding the line admirably right here in this center island. And see, this is where I really wished I should have. I wished that I had saved some ammo for my archers, because the only archer force I have left are these 4 Arthurian Rangers, who, despite their low numbers, are still racking up the kills because there is a lot of ammo to go around. So yeah, he also has committed his depleted unit of dismounted Earls to the fight against my veterans of Osgiliath, and he has pulled back his 2 units of Dalian cavalry. So I did notice that he was firing quite a number of his archers at my Citadel Bodyguard, so I do commit them to the fight to help out these veterans of Osgiliath a little bit. And I'm really not planning to. I really wasn't planning to commit all of my forces in this center island. I mean, it probably would have been cool, but I decided to opt to. Well, no, I decided to opt to. Sorry, I decided rather to just defend this beachhead right here. And I must say, I really like the look of the Citadel Bodyguard. They were in the vanilla game, and I've always really liked how they look. I love their capes. And I've always been a huge fan of the Gondor Spearmen, which is unfortunate, which is why I'm quite sad that Spearmen in this game are almost worthless, to be honest with you. And these are the swords that I was talking about were pretty ridiculous for the Dale Dragon Slayers. To me, they look almost like anime. Like it's a little much for me. I'm not a huge fan of the Dale Dragon Slayer's swords. So yeah, he's also firing his Royal Guard at my pikes. No, he's not. He's firing them at my Pelagrin Marines, who all I did with them is I just put them into loose formation, and I didn't worry about it at all because I'd rather him fire my Pelagrin Marines than at my Guards of Osgiliath or Sons of Argonath. Yes, right here, my veterans of Osgiliath, who are still at 50, they still have quite a few troops left, and my Citadel Bodyguard are definitely doing an excellent job at holding back his dismounted Earls, some Bardian Marksmen who have no ammo left, the anime swords, and that's pretty much all that he has fighting right here. He has more troops back here, but he doesn't want to commit them to a fight unnecessarily, which would lead to casualties that could have been avoided quite easily. So that's a very smart move by him right there, not committing his Dalian Paladins or dismounted Earls. Because eventually his forces right here will be able to break through my Citadel Bodyguard. As you can see, they are already being slowly pushed back. Yeah, as I said before, this is really when I was very, very disappointed that I had not saved any more artillery fire or archer fire, because this is such a great target right here. I mean, I still have those 4 Athelian Rangers, who, as I said before, did rack up quite a few kills. They ended up getting 1 gold chevron from nothing, so that was pretty neat. Ooh, nice kill on that dismounted Earl right there. That's very good for me. Yeah, that's also the thing about river crossings. I do like river crossings; they're very entertaining to play, but I don't know how entertaining they are to watch, just because pretty much for the most part it's just one big long choke point. So if you guys don't like these type of river crossing replays, just go ahead and tell me in the comments, and I will not upload them very often. Well, I mean, this is only the first one, but still. So he is bringing forward his both of his units of Dalian cavalry, which my spearmen were able to hold them for like only like a second or two. Well, no. What is he doing? I'm trying to remember. I don't know what's going on. But because of his cavalry here, they do manage to push through, and it basically splits this unit of Citadel Bodyguard in half. And because they're cut in half like that, both ends of my Citadel Guard were able to be surrounded very easily, and that was basically the end of my Citadel Bodyguard, to be honest with you. But I was very worried that he was just going to try to push through with his Dalian cavalry and just wreak havoc among my back ranks. So I do bring forward 1 unit of Gondor infantry and put them in shield wall. And that is what he did. He actually did break through, but he noticed that there was no way he could get through and just charged into the back of my Citadel Bodyguard. Who, despite having 110 in number, having 110 just a second ago, they are dropping very, very quickly. Because like I said, they did get like effectively split in half, and so they're just getting cut down very, very rapidly. But you can see quite a few of the Dalian cavalry dropping because of the effectiveness against cavalry that the spearmen have. But in a pitched battle especially, the effectiveness that spearmen have against cavalry is pretty much 0, because in .9 cavalry is very, very deadly, which makes it very hard, very, very difficult to play as Gondor, because Gondor has very limited cavalry. They only have 2 units, I believe, the General's Bodyguard and then another new unit called Gondor Knights. But so I was planning to use this unit of Guards of Osgiliath, who got wrecked by javelins, as you can see. They were healthier, but now they're just dropping because of the javelins. So I got them in a very nice position right here. Would have been a very easy to defend. But I moved them forward a little bit and then reform them. But unfortunately, I didn't put them in guard mode. So because they were not in guard mode, they kind of rushed in once they got attacked, and because of it, they're really did not do as well as they could have. So I tried retreating them, but just like what happened with them over here, when I tried to retreat them, they just got cut down in the back, and I believe they get all the way down to like only like 25 men left in the unit. It was crazy. However, right here, my center is obviously very, very lacking in my own troops. So if he was able to push through, I would have been able to stop him with my Sons of Argonath, Lossarnoch Nobles, and other units, but still it was somewhat of a worry to me, but not a huge one. Yes, as you can see, they weren't in guard mode, so they are pushing forward, unfortunately. So, yeah, it was just just a beginner's mistake with pikes. I mean, it was just very unfortunate. How many troops do his Dale? So yeah, see, his Dale Dragon Slayers are still at 47. They are very, very excellent. See, I'm trying to push them back, but they're going very, very slowly. They're walking slowly and dropping in numbers quickly, so it's very unfortunate. But yeah, I actually kind of like this map. It's kind of nice. I like the middle island area. I mean, oh, look at the bodies. A lot of horses in there, some Citadel Bodyguard, Barding Herd. Ooh, looks like a lot of them are probably my troops, though, for the most part. And his javelins are also definitely not helping right here, just being fired into the back of my Guards of Osgiliath, who are at 55, 54. But yeah, I also brought my other unit of Guards of Osgiliath to try to hold the line right here. And at the same time, I got one unit of Gondor infantry in shield wall and tried to just slow the advance of the dismounted Earls, Barding Herd, Dale Dragon Slayers, just everyone that's right here. So they did manage to slow them down enough for my pikemen to get into formation, which is very fortunate for me. But he does get these Dale Dragonslayers right around this edge, and I was very worried. Well, I wasn't very worried that he was going to come after my archers because I only have my general unit and these 4 Arthurian Rangers, but I was more just worried that he was going to flank around my main infantry force, which I'm sure was his idea. So to try to stop that, I do rush down my Wardens of Minas Ithil, who will be no match to the Dale Dragonslayers in melee, but they will at least be able to slow them down. And I'm the Wardens of Minas Ithil are so laser fast. Like they can almost catch up to cavalry just with their normal running speed. They're really awesomely fast. It's it's awesome. So I have 2 pipelines, my very depleted unit of Guards of Osgiliath, and then my very healthy one right here. But my very healthy one is getting wrapped around effectively by these Dale Dragonslayers. So I'm going to also bring this unit of Losternock Nobles to... I was trying to surround them, but I ended up more just kind of attacking them head on because the pathfinding issue was a little bit weird in this area. My Gondor infantry has lost 80 men, but they're doing not bad against these more elite units to be sure. And he has now completely run out of ammo with his Royal Guard, which was his last archery unit. So he is committing everything he is committing except for his javelins, obviously, and this health unit of dismounted earls. He will commit them just in a little bit, but he hasn't committed them right now. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the pathfinding issues. It was kind of aggravating. Ooh, that poor Warden of Minas Ithil just got completely flung around by that Dale Dragonslayer. Who only 3 of the Dale Dragonslayers have died so far, so they're a very tough unit to bring. Or, very tough unit, and very worth it to bring. But right here, my unit of Gondor infantry is just not being able to, just don't have the numbers to hold against this massive push by what's left of his forces. So yeah, they're just dying very quickly, and I'm pretty sure they rout pretty quickly here. So I am bringing up fresh units. I'm bringing my Wardens of the White Tower and some more units of Gondor infantry, and I'm going to recommit my Sons of Argonath to the very front fight, which is obviously where the fighting is going to be the fiercest, but they should be able to handle it with their high defense and high attack values. And I'm also trying to commit my Losternock Nobles, kind of put them in with the pikes, because even though the Losternock Nobles have no hit points, they should be able to kind of let the pikemen take some of the damage from the incoming infantry. But yeah, so from now on, it's pretty much just one long choke point fight, so there's really not much I can do commentary-wise. But I hope you guys enjoyed anyway. Anyway, so far it's looking pretty good for me. Well, very good for me, I should say. I haven't even lost half yet, and he has lost 70%. However, on this right flank, he is wrapping around my troops very quickly. Very much way too fast for my liking, so I am trying to commit some troops on that side. His Dale Dragonslayers are starting to drop, but still not nearly quick enough as I would like them to. So, but my Losternock Nobles will be able to stop the bleeding somewhat right here. I mean, they don't have the best defense, but their attack should be able to do them good. So I'm also committing my Pelargir Marines, who are out of ammo, to slow the advance of this Dalian cavalry and who are they? What are they? Dale Dragonslayers. Ooh. Yeah, and on this side, my Wardens of the White Tower and Gunner Infantry are wrapping around his Royal Guard and dismounted Earls, which is good in the infantry fight, but it is presenting a very juicy target for his Rivermen, who are taking full advantage of it and are absolutely destroying my Wardens of the White Tower right here. And so he will commit this unit of dismounted Earls to fight the Wardens of the White Tower. As you can see, things are looking pretty good for me. I still have 2 completely healthy units of Gondor infantry that haven't even fought at all yet. And we are beginning to cut down these Dale Dragon Slayers, which will allow us to wrap around. the right flank that we had been suffering at. But yeah, right there, it was my general who died right there. He was with the Wardens of Minas Ithil who had been fighting the Dill Dragon Slayers for a while, so it was no surprise that he had died. But because of the amount of, just the sheer amount of troops that I had left, I was not too worried about losing my general right there. And his Dale Paladins will be able to do a very good job against my standard infantry, which is why I am committing my Sons of Argonath against the Dalian Paladins, who are down to 55 already, and my Sons of Argonath are still at 78, so it's looking very, very good for me. And I noticed that my pikes are no longer in the fight. My infantry has managed to push past my pikes, so I'm trying to reform them, but they decided to do like a little huddle first, and yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I'm sorry, I just don't know what they're doing. But yeah, right here, his dismounted Earls and Royal Guard are doing a nice job of holding against my Wardens of the White Tower and Gobber Infantry. And over here, his Dale Dragon Slayers are still at 20 troops left, but now that they are getting surrounded by Gondor Infantry, Pelargir Marines, and Lothernok Nobles, they will drop quickly. So my Sons of Argonath have lost quite a few troops, but ooh, nice kill on the Dalian Paladin right there. That's a very good. That man deserves a medal. Oh, dang, this guy really does deserve a medal. He just killed a Dalian Paladin and then he killed a dismounted Earl. He really does deserve a medal. So my other unit of I've basically committed everything now. My other unit of Lothernok Nobles and both my units of Gondor Infantry have been committed to the fight because I really would like to get into these Rivermen. We're taking slow casualties from my 4th Ilian Rangers, but it's really just a fly, essentially. That's not really doing anything to them. However, right here, he is beginning to push back hard against these Wards of the White Tower, who are starting to succumb against the combined forces of the dismounted Earls and Royal Guard. Not to mention the fact that they have been getting targeted by the Rivermen. But the Rivermen have decided to opt for a different target in the form of this huge blob of my own forces right here. So I'm sure they racked up so many kills right there. But the Dale Dragon Slayers are down to 8, which is very good for me, because that means with them gone, I will be able to wrap around his forces right here very easily. Essentially winning the day. But yeah, every time his javelins throw, I pretty much go up 1% in my army killed, and it was just, oh, it was so aggravating to me because like there's nothing I can do about it. That's the annoying thing about river battles. It's just one choke point essentially. So I couldn't get to his javelin. And there goes Mr. Man JGW's general right there, which will cause his troops to right here to begin to shake, and I believe they rout fairly quickly. My Sons of Argonath are still at 52, so very healthy. And I'm moving forward my pikes. So it's looking very grim for the forces of Dale at the moment. But just look at the utter devastation that's happened. I mean, just burnt corpses right here from the trebuchet. A lot of death right here. Poor Citadel archers and trebuchet. Pelargir Marines. More Citadel bodyguard, horses, Lake Town infantry. Just not a good day, not at all. Ooh, there's only one dismounted Earl, and he's left in this unit, and he's breaking. So he's putting forward this unit of Rivermen to fight in the melee, because he does realize he's getting very close to losing this fight in the front line. So I am pushing very hard. You can just see my forces slowly pushing through his dismounted Earls and Royal Guard, because I'm trying to get to his last healthy unit, which is that Riverman unit, who is causing a lot of destruction in my forces. Yeah, his Dale Dragon Slayers are all dealt with. Yeah, basically the only thing he has left now are the Rivermen who are fighting right now, and this healthy unit Riverman. You can see Dalian Paladins breaking, dismounted Earls breaking. Ooh, unit 31 breaking. That was good for me. And so that means all he has left fighting right here are the Rivermen who are wavering and the Royal Guard. You can just see them beginning to be pushed back very quickly. Well, not too quickly, but you know what I mean. They're being pushed back. And so this Riverman unit has broken, which means that the Royal Guard will not be able to stop my flow of forces going straight through the river, which will allow me to get straight into his last unit of Rivermen, who are already shaken, which I believe, I'm pretty positive the Sons of Argonath instill fear. So that's, and not to mention the fact that their general died, so it's really no wonder that they're shaken right now. It's actually that was actually that's a deadly javelin throw. But so right at the end there, he did manage to pull it back way more than he had been previously. He got 74%, which isn't bad. Oh yeah, see, look, but at the mere, just merely looking at my forces, he doesn't. His rivermen break and run away. They must return. They must try to return to Lake Town and begin to fish. But yeah, so it was a fun battle. I enjoyed it. And we're just gonna pause it here for a second because just look at the utter devastation and the absolute death that was caused right here on this beach. You can see a lot of War in the White Tower capes. It was just absolutely crazy. So many bodies. Look at all the gunner infantry that died right here. Um, you can see the Dale's Dragon Slayers and his cavalry was fell right here, fighting against my axemen. It was just absolutely crazy. And oh, look how many bodies are in the water. Oh my goodness. It was just absolutely crazy. It was a very fun battle. Big shout out to Mr. ManJGW for playing with me. It was fun. But yeah, so that has done it for this battle replay. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you did. If you didn't, tell me what you didn't like about the video, and I'll be sure to fix it for the next one. And yeah, make sure you guys give me recommendations on what type of battles you want to see. Like, I I would like to do see more sieges, but just the fact is, like I said, it's hard to find players at the times that I'm able to play. But yeah, so let's look at the kills. So I had 1,000 men remaining, 1,700 kills. Mr. Man JGW had 2,000 kills, 300 more kills than me, but only 210 remaining, and those were all breaking. But yeah, that's the thing about most of the human factions. They are able to field very, very many troops. So that's kind of cool. Wardens of Minith, my archers all did very good. Trebuchet did good. Guards of Esgiliath, that one only got 18 kills. But Athelian Rangers got 228 kills, and oh my goodness, 123 of them were healed. That's some King Alessar healing right there. Holy cow. Um, Sons of Argonath did good. Bodyguard paid for themselves. Wardens of the White Tower did eh. But yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. The Gunner Infantry, 203 men dead. So they got completely wiped out. Only 87 kills. That was probably the end in Shield Wall, so. But this one had half of the unit die, and they only got 12 kills. 40 men died and only one kill. 54 men killed and only 11 kills. 177 dead, 30 kills. So that's what I'm talking about when I say that the gunner infantry seems a little weaker at the moment. But yeah, Pelican Marines did well. They definitely paid for themselves. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys look out for the next one. I also am going to continue the Gondor campaign of the last days of the Third Age. Those ones definitely don't get very many views, but they're fun to play. I haven't played Mount Blade Warband on PC very much. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.